If you move forward to net and you're doing a great job and you get in there and you keep getting past and you don't know what's going on, it may not be that you need to hit a better volley. It may be that you need to hit the volley in the right place at the right time. And that's what we're going to talk about in this video. In this video, we're going to talk about where you should be hitting the ball when you come to net. It's so important to understand the strategy about being a good net player, because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to wind up with this belief about you need to hit better volleys, bigger volleys. That's the only way you're going to win points, and you don't want that. So this is a three-part series. This is part number 3. Make sure if you do have questions about technique, you watch this video here. And if you want to know how to move the net smoothly and effortlessly, watch this video here. In this video, let's talk about the big concepts you need to understand to make sure that when you come to net, you're coming there and choosing the right shots at the right time. The first concept you want to understand is, do you have access? You're asking access. Do I have access? Of course I have access. But do you have access to the right amount of court to be aggressive? And this means you really have to think about what you're doing. So let's take a look at something. If you look at from the baseline and look over the net, what can you see? You can't see much of the court. It's very little of the court you can see. If you move up to the service line, what can you see? The court's starting to open up a little bit over the net. And if you move even closer, 2, 3, 4 feet away from that, it opens up even more exponentially. So as you get inside the service line, guess what? More of the court becomes accessible to you if you hit the ball at this height. Okay, which leads me to number 2. Is the ball high or low? When the ball's high and you have access, you can be aggressive because now you're hitting down in the court, giving your opponent less opportunity or less time to get to the ball. Okay, I don't care who you're playing. If Roger Federer's on that corner and he hits me a high ball where I can hit down to the other corner, I'm going to probably win the point. This is why coming in net is so important. It gives you a huge advantage. Now, on the flip side, if the ball's low and I have to hit up to Roger Federer and try to go to the open, I'm toast because he has the advantage of time. I have to hit the ball up, which gives him more time to get set, and I still have to recover, which is what we're going to talk about in number 3. The third most important concept is recovery. Recovery is simply being in the middle of your opponent's best 2 shots and making sure you have time to get there. Okay, so important. It's not just being in the middle, but you have to be in the middle by the time they hit the shot. And this is where the high-low comes into handy. Because if you're hitting a low ball to the open court, you have to run over and cover that because the shot you're trying to cover first is the down the line, meaning the down the line is the shortest distance on the court. The down the line angle is much shorter than the cross court angle. So the ball is going to get to you quicker. Therefore, you have to cover that side a little bit faster because you won't have that time to move over. So if I hit, let's say, even from this position and hit a ball to the open court, but I don't have time to get over there, I'm going to probably get burnt down the line more. This is why you want to take the ball right back to your opponent because guess what? You're already in the best shot to cover all the shots they might hit, meaning the down the line, the cross court, or the lob. Now, if the ball's high, this is a totally different thing. High and I have access, then if I hit the ball cross court, guess what? My opponent has less time and I now can move into position easier because they're going to be struggling. And this is why it's so important to you not attack until you have access and the ball's high and you can make sure you get into the right recovery position. With all 3 of these, it really sums up the general strategies for being at the net for singles and doubles. So for doubles, how would it work? It's basically the exact same thing. If you get a low ball and you're moving forward, take it to the person who's furthest away from you to give yourself time. You only attack when you get the high ball and you have access, then you might attack towards the net person's feet so they can continue to hit up, you can continue to hit down. Really quick note, that's what doubles is about. Making sure your opponent hits up so you can hit down. That's all doubles is about. Okay, back to the regular scheduled program. So if you understand these concepts, it really gives you the correct understanding of how to approach the net successfully. So what are the action steps? Really, the action steps for this is to play a game working on a strategy. And so the game you want to play, whether you're playing singles or doubles, is feed the ball directly in front of you or have somebody feed the ball in front of you. You approach. If the ball is low, try to keep it deep and away from you so you make sure you have time to recover and get in the right spot. If it's high, then that's the time you attack, usually going for an angle. And you can do this in singles or doubles. The difference in doubles is you would take that ball cross court and deep to the person if they're at the baseline. Okay, so let's go. So like in that point, all the balls were low, so I just kept it right in front of me. So I'm waiting for those opportunities where the ball gets a little higher, then I can go for the angle. If not, I'll still keep the ball in front of me. To wrap the game up, it's really important that as you feed, you make sure your opponent has to hit the first ball to you. After that, any ball that's low, you go back to them. You keep the ball in front of you. Obviously in doubles again, you go cross court to the person deep. Once they pop it up, that's when you start being aggressive by going for angles, not power. And that's how you play the game. Now let's sum everything up. Number one, do you have access? Really, next time you go out to the court, start at the baseline and see what you can see over the net. This is an eye-opening experiment that once you do, you'll start understanding it. Basically, from the baseline, you can't really be aggressive because you have to constantly hit up to make the ball go down. As you move forward, you get more opportunities to hit down on the court, giving your opponent less time to react to the shot. And this is why moving forward, being good at net is so powerful. Number two, are you hitting the ball high or low? When you hit a low ball, you have to hit up, meaning you don't have access to a lot of the court and your opponent's gonna get more time. When you get to hit down on the court, meaning you're close enough to hit down and you have access to the court, guess what? Your opponent doesn't have time, meaning they're struggling for time, and more than likely it's gonna give you more time to get in position and cover their response. Number three, recovery. You have to recover for everything, especially when you're at net. So make sure, because the ball's coming so quick, you hit the shot that allows you to recover quick instead of hitting a shot and then trying to scramble to recover. This is a very different concept, and a lot of players are thinking, okay, I should hit the shot and then I'm not fast enough to recover, instead of going, what shot should I hit so I don't have to worry about recovering so quick? And that means if the ball's low, going right back to your opponent, and then when the ball's high, going for the angle. Now, when do you throw these guidelines out the window? You throw it out when your opponent might have a weaker shot, and you're going to that weaker shot knowing that that shot is gonna probably break down. But here's the thing, if you do go against these guidelines, understand the risk you're taking. That's fine. It's okay to take more risk if the reward's gonna pay off. I would never take risk going to Roger Federer's forehand. Not gonna happen. Compared to somebody who has a really crappy forehand, yes, I'm gonna take that risk all day long because it's gonna pay off. So those are the things you have to remember. So if you like this video, make sure you go to totaltennisdomination.org and check out more free great videos and sign up for our subscriber list, because I send out weekly tips and advice only to my subscribers about different things to help you improve your game quicker. And I get a conversation started answering your questions to make sure you're improving your game faster than everybody else.